I apologise in advance for this incredibly tenuous link between Citizen's chronograph watch, which I will be reviewing today, and an Omega Speedmaster. Why have I said this? Well, you'll find out why in a moment. It's a weird, subtle thing that makes me feel there is a connection between the two. And no, it's nothing to do with the fact that the sun is also in space as well. So, like I usually like to do, I get straight involved with stats and specs and things you need to know. Start with the weight. I've sized this up for me, 7-inch wrist. It's 118 grams. Case size is just under 40, it's 39.9. The height is only 11.3, so it's quite slim, and that includes a slight domed mineral crystal here. The lug to lug, 47.1. Lug width is 20 mil, so nice and easy for strap changes. No taper on here, just with a press clasp as well. These are folded links, which, as you can see here, is what they look like. They're not solid, unfortunately, and you've got push pins and hollow end links on this bracelet. It's got 100 meters water resist, but there's no screw down features anywhere apart from the case back, which is screwed down. But being eco drive, you're never ever really going to need to open the back up. We've got a chronograph in here with your stop, start and reset pushers here. You've got a date complication, and you've got the 3 sub-dials here. The left one is your counter for your minutes, and you're doing the counting with the tachymeter, and this is your 24-hour sub-dial, which I'll chat a little bit about later on, and then this is your seconds hand ticking away all the time. And so when you're using the function stop start, it's got your tick there, but as you can see, it doesn't actually line up, which is a bit unusual. Anyway, stop and then reset, and it goes all the way around rather than snap back. The loom on this is actually incredible. It's better than I thought it'd be. I know Citizens do have good loom, but you'll see a time lapse coming up. This loom is unreal. It's especially on the hands. I mean, it's okay on the indices, but the bit that actually really matters is the hour and the minute hand, and that's some of the best loom at this price point I've ever seen on this kind of watch. Definitely a nice big dial, even though it's got a relatively small case size. The actual visible dial, excluding this tachymeter ring here, is just under 30 mil. And as I said before, check out this domed mineral. I know it's single dome, because what you get with a double dome is none of that sort of distortion you get here, that extra sort of mirroring effect. When you have a single dome, it's flat on the underside and it's domed on the top, and that's what creates this distortion effect. And I actually love that. It's got a very dark blue dial. As you can see, it almost looks black in some lights, but it is a very lovely deep dark blue. It's all solid stainless steel. I say solid, the bracelet isn't solid, but it's made out of stainless steel. We've got polished sides, polished underneath, and polished aspect here on the press clasp, as you can see, fingerprint magnet. Not much brushing going on really, it's mainly polished. And the solar aspect of this piece is absorbed through these sub-dials, which is very clever. When the light catches it more, you can see how much these are actually little solar panels, which I think is so clever. So let's get this on wrist so you can see what this watch looks like on me. And as you can see, it's really nice, comfortable size watch. I mean, I say, because it's got the shorter lug to lug, less than 50 on a sort of medium sized wrist, it's just going to sit so well. It doesn't look too big, so easy to read, even for a chronograph, which can notoriously be a little bit tricky to read because you've got the extra information going on. But these hands are quite big, and there's plenty of loom in there, so as soon as a little bit of charging of the loom goes on, as soon as you get into slightly duller light conditions, it just pops. It's really good. It's traditionally, people may just think of a Citizen watch being a little bit bland, but the thing I like about these is you've got to sort of not look at them just from pictures, because these are deceptively attractive watches, I think, because of these little surprise and delight things you get. I mean, obviously the bracelet's nothing to write home about, but it's really well finished. Yeah, you get that domed crystal, and you get really good loom and really good fit and finish, and that deep blue dial. I mean, that's all the clever things you get. But we'll go into a little bit more detail of that after this stats and specs section. So yeah, now it's time to chat more about my likes and what I think could be improved upon maybe with this watch, and why, a little bit more of discussion, why I think this watch is definitely worth recommending. And you get a few little strap changes on here as well, because this is a bit of a strap monster. So let's delve deeper into that. So what do I like? Well, the reason why there was a tenuous link to do with the Speedmaster is, having handled the Speedmaster and tried it on and looked at it, there's something elegant about its proportions, and that's why I really felt like there was that incredibly strained link with this watch, because obviously the layout of the piece is interesting. This is the tachymeter on the sort of the inside of where the dial area is, whereas something like a Speedmaster has an outer ring. But this, the reason why I think this works even better as a design is it just seems to make it look cleaner and neater and more uniform. And that's why I think this is clever, because it's only a 40mm case size, but they managed to get everything to fit in there really neatly. Everything is spaced out. Just look at the positioning of the text, Citizen, Eco Drive. Then you've got the date complication, which is big enough and legible. And then you've got these three evenly positioned subdials. I wish that they didn't have the 24-hour subdial. I'd still find that pointless, but you know, we can live with that. But that's the main reason why this design works so well. It's such comfort as well, with these nicely tapering down lugs and nice 20mm lug width. I just love that domed glass. I've said it before, but that is fun. I do like that. That's nice to have something a little bit interesting. It could have been flat, but no, it's nice to have a bit of domed on there that plays with the light. I like the fact it's solar powered. Once it's fully charged, which about a day in full sunlight, it lasts for months. Even in a dark drawer, you won't have to worry about it losing time. And they're so reliable, these solar powered watches. I mean, I've had one for over 10 years and it's been perfect. They last over 20 years apparently before they even start to lose a little bit of their power retention. It's a very versatile watch. You'll see that in a moment when I change it on a few straps. You can see if you don't fancy this cheap-ish bracelet, you can try it on quite a few different other things, and just shows how it can transform it, and that's what we'll see in a moment. And it's very lightweight. And then you add into the mix the fantastic lume, and you've got a really good all-rounder. I wouldn't say it was good value at 300, the original RRP, but if you get it around the 150, which you can find it, it's what I paid for mine. That's the main reason why I didn't buy it in the first place. I thought, well, 300's a bit steep. 150 is definitely much better value. So what are the cons? Well, the bracelet is the first one. It's only because there's no taper. I would have liked a bit of a taper on there. It's folded links. Even though this is comfortable, it definitely has a little bit of cheapness to it, but not as bad as some Seiko bracelets at this sort of price. But that's all right, you know. It's I've seen worse, but it's okay. And there's no feel in these pushers. You know, when you do start, there's a little pop, a little click. You feel that. When you press it again, it feels like there's nothing. It's just awful. It's not loose. It just feels muted. There's no extra positive clicks or feel anything. There is a little click you feel there. Just don't like that 24-hour subdial. It's a waste of space. It's pointless. And the lumen indices isn't fantastic. It's okay, but seeing how good it is in the hands makes me think, oh, I wish the indices had better lume as well. So overall, but that's all right, you know. This has more positives than negatives, and I'm glad I got this because it's an unusually sized Citizen chronograph watch, in my opinion, because often they are big chunky things. I've got the Blue Angels, for example, and that it just feels like a lot more substantial watch. This is better for smaller wrists. It's a more elegant piece, and I'd say it's more versatile for that reason. So let's check this out on a few different strap variations. Just look at this on that crazy horse. This is saddle leather, ultra soft, ultra supple. And I went for this colour because I thought it was as close as possible to what I've seen on the sort of the Moon watch. Just look at this on a nice stripy NATO, sort of sporty racing stripe, the same sort of blue as the dial. Oh, really smart. And then look at this, again another sporty version, but one single solid stripe down the middle in the dark blue just to match that beautiful dial. So would I recommend this watch? Well, to be honest with you, most of the watches I buy, I already like the look of. It's very rare I'll buy a watch I don't like and then just disappoint you by saying, no, I don't recommend it, and I've wasted your time. So why would I recommend this watch? Well, I've covered the pros and the cons in this, and you can gather from it yourself if this is something you would like. I mean, this is just my personal taste, these kind of watches. But if you're after a chronograph, which has actually got these kind of more elegant and more appropriate proportions for maybe medium to smaller wrists, this is definitely better. Yeah, why not treat yourself? So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review of this Citizen chronograph watch. Well, I think this has been a little winner, this watch, and I hope you've enjoyed this review and my sort of take on it. And if so, give this video a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Thanks again, guys. Bye for now.